Welcome to the Waldorf Gridiron Club podcast, your home for all things football at Waldorf University, the best small college football experience in America. Hosted by Andy Buffington and me, Troy Thompson, from the secret gridiron bunker beneath Volsdorf Field. Now, let's meet the captains of today's podcast.
All right, hey, welcome everybody to this episode of the Waldorf Gridiron Podcast. We got a couple exciting guests today. Number 27, Twon Collymore. Twon comes to us from all over the dang world. Boston, Massachusetts. You have no accent though, do you?
Park the car. Got a little accent.
You're really, that's 100%, your whole life is in Boston?
Hometown.
Oh, I love Boston.
Hometown. Home of the Red Sox.
We're going to have a lot to say. Are you a Sox fan?
They're going to hate me. I'm a Yankees fan.
Oh, no.
They are going to hate you. Were you at the game last fall by any chance?
No, sir.
When the Yankees and the Sox played for the one-off or whatever? Yeah.
Sir.
You weren't. I was.
How was that?
They hated the Yankees fans. But we went as Twins fans and pseudo Sox fans, so we fit right in, my wife and I. It was pretty fun.
Ooh.
Yeah, we love Fenway. First down.
You played high school ball down in Manning, South Carolina. Tell me about how you ended up in Manning.
Well, my family, the Collymore side of our family, we're originally from Barbados. And with my granddad, when he migrated over here to the U.S., he met my grandmother, and she's from Manning, South Carolina. So,
all right.
Of course, you know how the men do it. She ended up moving in with him. So it was like we was all in Boston for a while. And then my grandmother's mom ended up getting sick. So we ended up moving to South Carolina to end up taking care of her. And then that's when I found the love of football again. It was different because you don't hear too many people from Boston coming out of Boston playing football. Like, you don't hear too many people from Boston playing football. So when I came to South Carolina, I felt like it was an opportunity to make a name for myself, and that's where it took off from there.
That's where it all went. That's great. And then you were also a track athlete in high school. Did I read that right?
Oh, yes. I was smoking on the track.
Yeah, so you're a sprinter, and it looks like you ran the 110 high hurdles?
110 100 hurdles, the 100, and the 200. I think my best race, though, is the 200.
What's some of your best times?
200. Well, my fastest time running the 200, my 11th grade year, I think I ran a 22.4. Like, that's good to me because I seen Waldorf's record for the 200, and I'll blow that out the water.
I'll tell you what, you put me on a bicycle and give me about 100-meter start, and I'm still not going to do 200 meters in 22 seconds.
That is a good time.
Well, because I'm going to be laying on turn 3.
Yeah.
And
well, it's just a half a lap.
My knee.
Yeah.
Well, that's true.
Eighth of a mile.
I'm a bit slow in everything that I do.
But that's 22's fast.
Yeah,
that's in the right. That'll
smoking.
get you to state.
For an 11th grader, it is fast.
Yeah.
And then on top of that, let's ice the cake. I had ran a 4.4. So, hey.
Nice.
4.
Nice. Dude's smoking. So from Manning High School there in South Carolina, your first stop was in Butler Community College, the Grizzlies in El Dorado, Kansas. We talked a little bit about that before the show, and that was quite a deal. You kind of had to try out something like that.
Yeah, they began that spring semester of 2017 with it was like an unlimited scholarship thing where they brought like over 150 guys in, and I was basically there fighting for a spot to get on the field. And I was 7th string wide receiver, and I had 6 D1 guys in front of me. Literally everybody had an offer from a D1 school except for me. And like as the spring started producing, I ended up making my way on the field. I was 3rd string. I was the slot receiver. I was with the starters, and everybody looked at it as, I was a freshman in my first year in college, so they're gonna bring Twon back, a red shirt or whatever. And it didn't turn out to be that way. They actually wanted me to come back and try again, and I felt like it was kind of disrespectful to me because I worked hard to get actually on the field. So I felt like I could take my talent somewhere else. And
yeah.
As soon as I left, that's when Coach Chase hit me up from Sterling College. And come to find out, Butler and Sterling kind of correlates just because their relationship, and it's in Kansas and it's down the street. So they basically ran the same offense. I fit perfect with Sterling College, but I seen different on defense. I just felt my heart there, so had to make
Yeah, so you were, coming out of high school, you were a wide receiver, and then you go over to the defensive side of the ball when you went to Sterling College there in Sterling, Kansas. You wore number 6 for the Warriors, so that was a good move.
Yeah.
It looks like you had some tough times in Sterling because all you did was in 2019 you were the AP second team NAIA All-American as a sophomore.
Yeah.
I mean, wow.
Just lazing about.
Yeah, how do you tell a family that when you go home for Christmas?
Right.
AFCA first team too.
That's right.
Get that.
Unanimous. Unanimous first team in the Kansas Collegiate Athletic Conference. In 2019, 6 interceptions, 1 pick 6. I did see that in your huddle profile. It's pretty cool.
Ooh,
32 tackles, 13 breakups. So yeah, that transition for you, and I want you to talk a little bit about that. How that transition for you from a wide receiver over to a D-back was really, really smooth for you.
Well, coming into Sterling, I had to look and see like what did they actually need, and like coming from that past season at Sterling College, they had a smoking offense. They probably was averaging 40 to 50 points a game. They had a All-American wide receiver. He just won Offensive Player of the Year, and like I felt like, since I knew so much about offense, I can go to defense and learn more, and then I'll be in competition with a first-team All-American wide receiver every day. So it's going to make me better. And eventually, like that first season, it wasn't the best. I probably gave up a good bit of touchdowns, but it was all a learning. It was all a learning experience. And then sophomore year, I just came with some vengeance. I wasn't giving up nothing.
Nice.
Kansas Westland, they had the number 1 receiver in the nation at the time. He was probably averaging like 150 yards a game. Mm. He had almost 2,000 yards off of less than 70, 60 catches. Mm. But, he came to Collymore Island, 2 receptions, 14 yards, and they was the number 3 team in the nation. So, hey, that sealed the deal. That opened up everybody's eyes, and they probably was wondering, who's this kid? Because I'm not going to lie, that season, Kansas Westland was on ESPN Top 10. They put 90 points on St. Mary.
Wow. Eesh.
That's unreal.
Yeah. It is huge. So then talk to us a little bit about how you go from Sterling up here to Forest City to play for the Better Warriors.
Well, that is absolutely true. The Better Warriors.
Yeah, right.
But end of the day, it was like, okay, there was a little conflict between me and the coach or whatever, and I just felt like I just wasn't respected how I was supposed to. So like that following year, there was a DB coach, Coach Gabe. He was good friends with Coach Finley. They knew each other from the AFCA meetings that they have, whatever, for the coaches. And when the day Coach Finn hit me up, it was kind of like, I don't know if I want to go back to the Warriors. It's kind of, I'm getting the same vibes, but like as 2 or 3 months went by, Coach Finn kept at it. So I was like, okay, I'm going to make this decision. This should be the best decision of my life. And came to Waldorf, and I get love from everybody. Like, I just feel like I'm at home. I have no reason to turn my back on anybody or anything. Like, I'm actually keyed in, locked into everything that we do at Waldorf, and I felt my heart here. Like, there's no way I can leave Waldorf. Like, I will literally sleep in the locker room for the rest of my life if I got to. I love Waldorf.
Man, I hate to even admit this, but I just got goosebumps. I mean, that was awesome. Seriously, Twon, that's good to hear from a community member, an alum, somebody that absolutely is 100% committed and loves this football program, to have somebody come in here and find that home, because we're a family here. I mean, we are. I mean, this program, you and your brothers, from the coaching staff all the way into the community. Again, that's just great to hear. So
I'm going to jump back to Boston, and you mentioned that it had kind of instilled your movement to Boston, somehow it instilled a love or an inspiration for football. Can you expand on that?
Well, okay, so it was like when I first moved to South Carolina, like, I'm not gonna lie, like, I didn't have no interest in the football. It's the South. These dudes are huge 8th graders built like D1 running backs. So I'm just like, man. But like to think like as my grandma was in the hospital, she told me like, you know, you didn't come down here, you feel me, just for me. Like you really came down here for the family, like for a family thing. You didn't come down here to just go to school or whatever. Shoot, because coming from Boston, I played Pop Warner football, and like I love football. So like for me, she just told me, even though they're bigger than you, just run fast. Like literally,
That's right.
I love it.
And all my highlights, when you see somebody chasing me, they're not touching me. Like I'm literally gone, dusting them. There's nobody there. So it just like every time I get the ball and I wear that 6, it's for her, because 6 for 6. Y'all gonna see the 6 soon. It's coming back. But end of the day, when I get the ball, you're gonna see me run as fast as I can. Ain't nobody touching me.
So actually, it was South Carolina, not Boston. That's where you.
Yes,
okay.
sir.
All right, I was confused about that, but that's an outstanding story.
Yes, sir.
Love to hear that. And the other thing, so like Sterling,
Some would say fantastic.
I mean, there you go. You heard it.
Hey, I'm not
Yeah.
gonna lie. That's how most students looked at Sterling. Oh, I'm back at Sterling. And I'm not gonna lie. I have not heard one person who left Waldorf says, "Oh, I'm back in Waldorf." They'd be like, "I actually ready to come back to Iowa." And I've never seen like a lot of people say that. So I knew I was in a good place. Like not too many people actually like. The love is different. The love is different compared to the love that Sterling. Like it's way different.
But you see what he's doing here? He's doing a great job of promoting the program and the community. Now, that's something that we look for in a good interview. So you're doing great, Twon. I have to say.
Appreciate that.
That's wonderful. All right. So now we're going to move on and put some pressure on it.
A little bit of pressure.
You check my Twitter. Hey, everybody knows Waldorf #1. We're going to be the conference champions this year.
And we will get into that.
Yes.
You don't have to wonder.
Second down.
All right. Across the table from me, our other captain. Number 9 this coming year on the roster, right? Well,
Yeah, yes, sir.
yeah, Will Stricklin from San Diego, California. He went to Mission Hills High School, Grizzly,
Yes, sir.
and that was in San Marco. You earned 3 letters in high school. You're also a track and field athlete. And the one thing that really stood out to me, and this isn't funny, Troy, what do you suppose the conference he played in high school?
Huh?
What was the conference what was it called, the one that he played in? So far, it's my favorite conference that I've heard of. Well, what was it?
I have to admit.
It's not closed, but it's open division. And it's the Avocado East, I think, was our...
Yeah, Avocado East. And I love avocados. So,
What?
The Avocado East Conference.
The Avocado East? That was your...
Yes, sir. That was the conference.
Is there an Avocado West?
Yeah,
There is, but they not the same caliber.
they're bad avocados. Like, you know, when you get an avocado... when
They
it's
hit the
just
ground. They've been there for a few days.
Yeah. A little bruised, kind of.
So is there a big avocado industry out,
what's
out
this
there?
all
I mean,
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. It's Southern California, man.
so can you give me the hookup on some good avocados? Because I love me some avocados.
Off the record.
No, this is all going to get broadcast.
Oh, yeah, right.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
There's at least 18 people that listen to this, so there's a good chance.
Oh, that's
Well, if
true.
they wanted to, then yeah, I can
Yeah.
get you right.
Yeah,
All
so
right.
I'll be meeting him, but in the alley between
Yeah.
Green and J&L at like 3 o'clock in the morning. Like, you have the avocados.
Yeah,
I got the hookup.
It
Exactly.
smells like toast. Now you're having a stroke.
You'll be all right. Rub some butter on it. So Will committed to, I don't know if anybody's ever heard of this school, San Diego State University, and I believe that's in San Diego. Is that correct?
Yeah, you'd be correct.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a good place for it.
There were the Aztecs. Is that correct as well?
Yes,
All
sir.
right. So you redshirted your
Like
first
just
year there.
recently, they're known as, became the Aztecs.
Oh, did they?
No.
Oh, wow.
No, not at
That's
all.
information
I think it's San Diego.
well, named after,
Yeah,
St. Diego. Yeah.
yeah, St. Diego.
the whales. Yeah, there's a Ron Burgundy quote there. We'll leave it alone.
Okay, so so your first year suiting up for the Aztecs, your freshman year, you actually appeared in all 13 games.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. And obviously mostly because you were a young player, you were a special teams player, they were bringing you up that way. just that season alone, you ended up with 4 solo tackles, a total of 5 on the kick team. One of the really cool stats I saw is that he had a solo tackle in the Armed Forces Bowl against Army West Point. That's pretty cool. What was that like playing in a bowl like that?
Yeah,
bowl games are always okay. There's a lot that goes with it, so everyone thinks like you just show up like the same day, like it's a regular game. Like you're there for 4 days, 5 days in advance. So the game itself was more I can't say more packed than a regular game, but the fans that are there were like more electric. And everyone plays at a higher level. So like it's awesome. It's an awesome place to be when it comes to testing out your talent levels, and for me figuring out what I wasn't good at so I could work on that in the off season, because the bowl season is at the end of your season, right? So, but that Armed Forces game was pretty interesting just because the guys we were playing against, man, I mean, they weren't your typical, like, I can't say typical D1 athlete, but the typical thought that what you think of for a D1 athlete. Like, they weren't super big. They were just to the T, every single play to the T.
Yeah.
I don't think any coach in America can draw up any of the things they do better, because they do it just how it's supposed to be written.
Well, the young men that go to West Point, I mean,
yeah, I'm biased, so.
Well, and obviously you're retired Army,
Yeah.
first sergeant. But everything's structure there.
I mean, I didn't go to West Point. First sergeants don't go to West Point.
I think you come out
Went
as
to
a
Waldorf.
second.
Yeah.
I think you come out as a second lieutenant, don't you?
Yeah, you
just
do.
because,
Yeah, you
you know.
start there. Yeah.
Exactly, and then you get put into
Right.
a unit, and everybody's going to West
Yeah.
Point.
Well, I mean, it's a struggle for. I do know that for the academies, with the exception of Annapolis, of course, it's hard. You know, they still have to meet the Army standards. So, like, if you're a lineman, I mean, it's tough to draw some of the D1 line at West Point. That can be a challenge.
Yes,
I think the Navy changes some of their standards for while they're at the academy a little bit. But I'm just saying that because I don't like when it's Army Navy, I'm for Army. But even so, I appreciate what you said about that with the guys, and it's cool, pretty darn cool to be able to play against them. And if nothing else, I mean, the uniforms are cool, and I know the fan base is kind of unique for sure.
That it is.
Yeah. So I don't know. Yeah.
Cool. So we go from SDSU, and then how did you find your way to Forest City, Iowa?
So you guys were here. You guys been here the whole time. So Aaron Hauser.
Oh yeah, Coach Hauser.
Exactly. But his pops
Really?
was my high school head coach.
Oh, wondered how that all connected. I knew that Aaron was a San Diego kid.
Yeah. Yes, sir.
All right.
So once I was gone from SDSU for about 9 months, after I had left, and his pop, or I might call him Daddy Hauser, but like Papa Hauser,
Yeah.
like he hit me up and funneled me to Aaron, and then Aaron wanted to put me in the best position that I could be, of
course,
in order to be myself, continue playing football, and make a great impact on something. So he got me in contact with Coach Choppa, Tyler Choppa.
Yeah.
And so like once I started talking to him, I realized like how much his passion. Because I mean, being at the program I was at beforehand, you don't get that kind of connection. Like,
sure.
And don't get me wrong, I mean, programs are, it's a business, but there it was more structure to that. And he gave me the opportunity to at least see and understand that like Waldorf can really be that family for me, So I dropped everything and I took the chance.
Well, it's great, and to have both you and Twon here is exceptional for the Warriors, to say the very least.
Oh, absolutely,
and it's fantastic.
Well, and it's an indicator of what we've talked about in previous episodes, where the NAIA is really the Wild West. So you look at it and go, well, now here's a pro. It's a division that doesn't follow the same rules as the NCAA, which is nice. And then, of course, they have all of the the good stuff that comes along with Division 1 and 2, without a lot of the crazy stuff too. So like the level of play is it's everywhere, and it indicated by you guys. So, and where you came from, and now you're here, which is awesome.
Yes, sir.
Definitely.
You're missing the word.
I know. I really worked hard.
Good job, Will.
To try not to say it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
We're gonna have everybody sitting in the.
We're gonna have T-shirts made that say "fantastic," and then that's what it'll be.
Exactly. Listen to the Waldorf Gridiron podcast.
We got a lot of T-shirts to make.
Fantastic.
I'm only gonna make 7 or 8 of them. But for sale.
My mom will buy one.
Right.
Yeah.
Sayuda, Bohica, fantastic.
Oh, that's right. The Bohica and the.
Yeah.
What was yours?
Sayuda.
Yeah.
Those are little sayings that we said that we were going to say at the last episode, but you had to wait for it. That was in the Easter egg. That was after the end credits.
I didn't
do that. I
didn't listen to the whole thing.
You're a part of the show.
Well, okay.
And you quit listening to the show.
So now let's for these guys, well, I lived it.
Yeah.
So anyway, Coach Ani, and he lettered in high school in prom. Yeah, same look right there. That what?
Yeah,
lettered in prom.
That's what I did.
I got a little martini glass on my letter jacket.
It's sewn on even.
4 years of lettering. And so there's a gentleman that's a very close friend of mine that I don't know how many times he went to prom. It didn't come up, but we said, he went to prom like 9 times. He was in my high school class, and he had girlfriends throughout that he would go to prom with, and we don't know. He might have went twice. But
I feel like it was more than that.
So, well, and it probably was. So we were giving him crap on the podcast with Coach Ani, and it just so happened that this last weekend, I was in lacrosse for the entire weekend with him, and we made him listen to it. So he called Mr. Thompson over here, and left a very pointed,
aggressive. It's pretty aggressive.
Yeah. So to be honest, I don't think you're safe anywhere you go. I mean,
well, lucky for him. I don't know how to work my voicemail. I just saw a number I didn't recognize, and then it disappeared. I didn't realize it went to voicemail till the next day, and when I checked my voicemail for other stuff, and ta-da!
A threat.
It was. It was a good gesture, a good sport. I'm glad he appreciated it, and I'm glad they listened.
Yeah, I mean, all the guys really laughed at him a lot. I think that might have a little bit. Yeah, exactly.
Inspired him at the end of the day. I'm
exactly.
You got his number. I'm calling him.
That's right.
Yeah, he might be out looking for me. Right. 3rd down. Make some noise.
All right, so guys, we got a season coming up.
Mm-hmm.
We looking at
a great improvement. Well, we got Ferris State and Simpson College on our hands, so that's probably going to be our toughest challenges, but looking forward to the season. I feel like we have a great chance to win conference championships. We have a great coach coming in, and I've heard about him. I have a couple of guys who went to Texas Wesleyan with him, and you look up his background, he put some points up. He gonna get the offense rolling.
Got some exotic plays, according to some of Coach Ani.
Well, and he stuttered under Coach Malzahn.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's a huge deal. He's an Auburn
formations guy. Looking freaky. Hey, we got something on our hands.
Yeah,
I love it.
Yeah,
I love it.
So, well, whose number we got this year? I mean, who's in the crosshairs hardcore?
Like who's in the fire? Who we got?
Yeah, who's gonna feel the heat of the Warrior Nation?
Valley. We have.
What did Valley State do to the Warriors?
They're the reason why I can say that we didn't go to playoffs, because that's where our 2 losses came from
last year. Yeah,
yeah, and we lost them back to back. But they really game planned against me the first game. They ain't throw the ball to my side or nothing. Like, they really attack the safeties, but like, we have something new coming up this year, so it's not like it was just mostly on the defense. We really needed some improvement on the offense, and we got that, and I feel like that got everything clicking. Like, it's like I was watching the spring practices, and it's like it's way different from how it was in the fall. It's like one day you got defense doing good, and the next day you got offense doing good, instead of like
a one-sided affair.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, and you'd expect that from, in college, you play one position, you're on one side of the ball. You don't necessarily interact every day with the other side, and so the defense is. My boys played defense in college, and how's the offense looking? They're like, I don't know, probably terrible, and whatever, because that's just the mindset. It's cool that you can look at it and say there's something awesome going on there. And you're right, though, to be completely fair, and sitting up in the box the last year or two, and be like, I don't think we're. What are we doing? There was a little bit of a gap there, and from all accounts, and we'll see this fall. So it seems that gap has been filled pretty well. We'll see. I hope that's the case, and it's great that everybody's excited about it. We're excited about it. I just can't wait to see it take place.
Yeah,
and that it will. And personally, I mean, from at least our side, the DB room, everyone's name's on the list, man. Everyone that's on our schedule. Like, we get a lot of people in our room that have a lot to prove.
Yeah.
And I mean, yeah, like we've 7-3 last year, and like we've been progressing consistently, but we're sleepers. Like you have a lot of the teams in our conference that still remember the 5-year ago team.
Oh yeah, right.
So we're definitely gonna make sure that we prove ourselves and put our name out there.
So interesting. I'd like to get your guys' take. Last year, 7-3. Were you a little disappointed?
Very disappointed. Very disappointed. I felt like we didn't have that chemistry, because it was like we was literally good at every position, from offense to defense. Like, I feel like we was good at every position, and it was just like, it was within the player-wise, people's egos. And it was like the next man wanted to be the better than the next man. When we got into certain situations, some people will fold and crumble, and it will be the people that we need. So it's like now everybody's locked in. Like, everybody, literally. Even the guys that's not actually on the field, like, locked in.
So, and a positive record is always a good thing, but we just, ending the season, knew that we could have been a lot better than what we produced.
And that's one of the things we brought up in the podcast before, that talks about where this program is. When you go 7-3,
yeah,
and then you feel like, oh,
yeah, we could have done better.
That's not what we wanted to do. And everybody wants to go undefeated. They want to win the national championship, and that's what you're playing for. I mean, if you're not going to go out there with that expectation as an individual, and as a team, then what are we doing? But it's really great, because 7 years ago, 7-3 was was kind of pie in the sky.
You said it best. Like, we're a sleeper. And that is what we're trying to tell people around here that listen to the podcast and out and about, that, are probably related to somebody on the team, at this point. And we like to think in our brains that, that the other coaches are listening, but we're trying to tell you, like, we're coming. And it's like, 7 months from now, we can be like, we told you. You should have listened to the podcast.
Yeah. Well, that's like when we had DQ in here, and it was like, what are you looking for, DQ? He's like, Valley, I got something special for them. Well, what do you got? He goes, you'll have to see.
Well.
So DQ is going to be loaded up. It's going to be fun to see. So, guys, what, you've been in other programs. What makes Waldorf a little bit different? And Twon, you talked a little bit about that, but is there anything special going on here that's just kind of that everybody should be doing this, but probably everybody doesn't?
Oh, yeah. Community is number one, because, I mean, we are a small town, but it's a close-knit community, And our player base, like, yeah, you say there's a family everywhere, but I ain't been as close to anyone more than these boys. Like, at the other program, it wasn't the same. Like, everyone has, like, their own goal into it, but we all fight for one thing, and we all, like, have our heads set or have our eyes set on, like, one collective goal. And for the coaching staff, too, to be able to, if you could sit down and talk to your coach, and, like, that means a lot to be able to, what I mean? I mean anything, too. Like, it'd be family stuff, like, something's personal to you. Like,
yeah,
they don't mind that kind of, like, connectedness, and that's why I love the place. Like, you don't find that at other programs. And I don't think you're going to. And I do think that, like, people might put, like, a stigma on the division. But we got ballers here.
Mm-hmm.
And we got coaches that want to produce and that want to get us out.
Oh, man.
So
yeah.
it's a great place.
You go past Coach Choppa's office, and there's always 5 or 6 guys sitting around, and they're just talking life.
It starts with the head coach, though. Like, shout out to Coach Finley. Like, that's the coolest head coach I ever met. Like, Coach Finley, whatever you need, Coach Finley will look out for you. From offense to defense. You mess up on offense, Coach Finley on you. Mess up on defense, Coach Finley on you. You do good on offense, Coach Finley congratulates you. You do good on defense, Coach Finley congratulates you. Coach Finley's not just out there. Like, Coach Finley always got energy. Coach Finley comes with it every day. Like,
I think I can add to that because he come with love, bro. Like he definitely comes with love.
Real.
Like, and I feel like everyone needs that, because you got to get your criticism, but you always need someone that's also going to lift you up when you're doing well. And he plays both roles perfectly. So
there's some players that literally like left the team, and Coach Finn still shows them the same love. Like they still tell me they feel like they're part of Waldorf. Like
that's fantastic.
Like you don't get that from every coach. You leave a team, that coach will turn
next
his
one
back
up.
on-
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The door
Well, I
hit
guess
you
we
in
got
the
a spot.
behind.
Yeah.
Yep. Guess we got a spot open. Yeah. No, this is the first time in a podcast we've had 2 guys in the same position group.
That's right.
Yeah. Usually it's offense, defense, or you'll have. Well, actually, I mean, kind of. Last time we had Coach Ani.
Well, the coach, the head, the O-line coach, and then an O-lineman. I guess
that's about as close as we get.
Yeah.
It's because y'all
This
want
is
the
not-
best podcast.
Yeah. This is what
now.
number 8. You need to check number 8.
Exactly. Everybody.
Right. This is.
It's probably gonna go viral.
At least he knows. Are you laughing?
Yeah, that's right.
At least he knows.
Yeah, well, I love it. Last week, Coach Ani said, he played up in St. Paul, Minnesota, for the Golden Bears, which is an easier bear to pet, by the way. I stand on that to this day.
I still want to see that.
We'll need to prove it.
I want to see it.
That'd be like one of the Gridiron Club things, and we're like, we've got 5 bears, and I'm going to pet each of them and and then the crowd's going to determine whether it was easier or not. Yeah.
Well, I think maybe we could do a raffle, something where let's see which bear takes Troy's arm off.
Yeah.
Oh, it was. I guess you shouldn't have started with a polar bear.
Well, no, of course not. I didn't even see that coming. Who let that guy in there? Well, anyway, it is unique that we're on the East and the West, East Coast, West Coast, and we're here in smack dab in the middle of the country. This is not a big town. It's not a big university. We say that it's the best small college football experience in America, and hopefully that's the case. And you guys actually have some insight into that, having played at interesting levels in different places and bigger places and coming from bigger places. So what in the world are you doing in a town of 4,500 people, and what do you think about it?
Like I tell everybody about this experience, it really keeps you focused and locked in. Like you have no distractions on the outside compared to like going to a school like in the city. You're dead in the middle of the city. Like you have too much things to do. You won't be so focused. But like I tell everybody who asks about Waldorf and they ask what is out there, I say football and focus. That's it. Like wherever your accomplishments is when you want to come here, you'll accomplish it because you don't have the outside distractions. You don't got strip clubs 10 minutes, 5 minutes down the road. You got bars
we don't.
2 minutes down the road. I mean, you got
not yet.
bars out there, but
One of Andy's biggest complaints, actually, about
Yeah, exactly. I mean,
but
I'm that guy.
But like for real though, all jokes aside though, like you really can focus on football and be locked in the whole time
Right.
coming to Waldorf in this community. And then you have the support, like literally whatever you need. Like it might not come how you want it, but you're gonna get it. It's gonna be there for you.
And
anything.
I think I'll second that too. And you're listing off like a lot of things that I think most people might see as being like a disadvantage or like a negative, but the small town, it's a collective town, and the fact that there's, not so much attention that's placed everywhere else, like it allows you to figure out like what you want to do and recreate yourself and do as best as you possibly can. Because you have so much time on your hands to be productive.
Mm-hmm.
Like there's not other things that are pulling you, from left or right. It definitely helps you just keep on your straight and narrow path.
Yeah.
And I think I definitely found that here. And I mean, Twon too. I believe that he was second in a lot of the other players. Like just being in a situation like this, yeah, it might be unique, but all the things that people might think is so negative about it is definitely more of a positive than anything else.
Well, that's a thing that I talk to my boys about, and you obviously are aware of it, and the coaches have to, when they recruit, they have to address it. They're not hiding the fact that you're not coming to a metropolitan area, but it's about the program. And what are you here for? You're here to get a degree, and you're here to play football and win. And that is, if you take those two things, there's just not a lot of time left. And the other thing that I told my boys too, and you might agree with this, and based on some of the conversations before we started recording, the reality is, like, when you're a college kid, Andy and I were college kids a long, long time ago, you don't have any money anyway. So, like, when I told my boys, I was thinking about going somewhere, big city, stuff to do. I'm like, you don't have any money. You don't have any money. What are you going to do? Like, wow, when you put it that way, I guess I'll go.
Exactly. Yeah. I'll get an apartment next to the Dollar General.
Yeah, but you can go. I mean, it is nice. That's the same thing that I've always said. You can do whatever you want to do. You just got to think ahead, and you got to plan for it. I don't think that's a bad lesson for life.
No, everybody should be doing that all day, every day.
Right. Says the emergency management director.
It really helps you be creative, though. Like, literally, like, all the resources that I had back home, it taught me how to come up with another resource and another option for everything, literally. Yeah. So it really molds you, though. Growing up in just being in a more small town, it really molds you.
And back to something you guys were talking about, how this community will come together and you get to know people. So you guys got summer jobs working in the same place. Mm-hmm. You're probably working around some folks from town, and then you're going to run down to the grocery store and you're going to see them there and have a conversation with them there. If you're getting close to the end of your degree, like, yeah, I'd really like to be an accountant. I think that'd be great. And you talk to a coach or talk to somebody from the community, they're going to go, well, Dave Arden's a friend of mine. I'm going to have you go talk to him and see what it's going to take for you to get there. Mm-hmm. So somebody that's extremely successful and has a good, solid local business and many actually branches around the area. DKNRPC for those of you that are following along. Yeah. But anyway, somebody like Dave, you can sit down across from him, and he's a huge Warrior fan, and he wants you guys, whether you play football or you're just a student here, he wants you to be successful. And not just because you went to Waldorf, that's a big deal, but at the same time, it's because he wants you as young people that when you get to the end of this road and football is in the rearview mirror and your college degree is in your hand, that it's more important for people in this community that you're going to go out there, come back in 10 years and see us and shine. And that's what this is all about.
Fourth down.
So let's switch gears a little bit. Yeah. Let's learn a little bit more about off the field, not as students. Will, what do you got for family out there? And, give them some shout outs and some love, because they're listening right now and they're going, they didn't say anything about me. So
got to talk about family.
Now's your time.
Well, definitely got to shout out my mom, Nakia, and then my blood brother, Cameron, and then my other little brother, Maverick, man. He's doing great, by the way.
They made a movie about him recently.
Chasing Maverick?
Maverick, Top Gun.
Top Gun, yeah.
Maverick? Oh, okay.
Oh, yeah. So is he going to be a naval aviator?
We'll see what he does. He's at USD right now. He's playing ball over there. So this season's going well, and I think he's the starter for them now, too, as a safety. So
very good. Very good.
And then Grandma. Got to shout out Grandma. Come on now.
Oh, heck.
And then my Uncle Earl. I think I'll be it, though.
What's the best part about your family? You guys get together and have some get-togethers and have some great food and stuff like that?
Oh, absolutely.
What's the go-to meal?
We fish.
There we go. Yeah, here we go.
Yeah,
Troy's not happy now.
I love fishing.
Just bad at it.
And I bet you go deep sea fishing or just off the coast,
Kentucky. My family's
so not you're Kentucky, so you're in the river. And
so here's the thing. You obviously, Nico Marasco.
What do you fish though? I mean, he's gonna come around. There's gonna be a walleye comment coming up. What do you fish for?
When I'm back home, it depends because we're super competitive.
Yeah.
So if I'm fishing with my grandma, she's the best catfisher in the family.
She is.
You can't catfish against her. You gotta go like bass or like bluegill.
Really?
Yeah.
But my uncle, he's the best bluegill because he always finds a nest somehow. I don't know how he does it, but so you got to go catfish with him.
Okay.
But it's between those two. Sometimes we go a little bit pike, but other than that, yeah, it's those two.
Nice.
So,
Grandma's the best catfish.
let's go back to episode 1. And Nico Marasco's brother he has his captain's license out in San Diego, I believe, because he played against, was it San Diego? No, Los Angeles.
Yeah, Los Angeles.
That's right, because he played against
Wine Cruiser.
That's right, he goes out to the Catalina.
That's what I said anyway.
Yeah, and they played
Catalina
against
Island's terrible. Don't worry about it.
Yeah. Well, so I mean, that's not too far up the coast. I mean, so if you go home, you could call Nico and say, "Hey, have your brother get me on the charter. We're going to go fishing for a couple days."
Yeah, he even said what the name was, but I'd have to go back and reference it.
Fin Fetish.
You remember that?
Dude, it's a steel trap.
Oh my!
I mean,
God,
it's
like a
aging.
rusty
It's like a
bear trap.
Yeah, that came out of nowhere.
Mhm.
Trust me. I mean, it's
Wow, fin fetish. That is what it is.
exactly. I don't know what I'm doing tomorrow.
Well, I love fishing too, and Andy loves fishing. We have fishing boats. We fish around here. We're obviously, if you're fishing in Kentucky, you're not fishing on the ocean. Clearly, landlocked.
Yeah,
It's nice. And yeah. So
Something you want to say?
no.
So around here, we like to. I'm a big crappie fisherman.
Yeah.
I spent a lot of years fishing for walleye. If you guys are familiar with
Yeah,
walleyes a little bit,
Okay.
that's all good. So Troy and I have this little
Yeah.
shtick that we like to throw together when we're talking about this because I like to fish for walleyes. Back then, went to Canada for 10 years and fished a lot of northern Minnesota, and walleyes, the fish up there,
Okay.
and I have caught more walleyes in my life than I care to even think about.
Yeah.
And so Troy, being from Iowa, of course, he is a walleye fisherman as well.
Yep.
He just says he's just not had as much luck.
No. In my mind, I should be catching these kind of fish all the time.
Yeah, that's a walleye right there.
But
I haven't seen too many of those in South Carolina.
I'll bet not. What do they fish for down there?
Mostly bass and catfish.
Yeah.
That's mostly what they fish
bass are
for.
awesome to catch. Well,
they're a lot of
bass are
fun to
so
catch,
much fun
yeah.
to catch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And walleyes, let's be honest, walleyes are just kind of like, once
Yeah.
you grab them, they're just like, really?
Yeah.
They
Eat
look-
'em.
Yeah, there
They
you go.
kind of look like mudfish. That's
They're on the bottom.
yeah. They kind of
Somewhere.
look like mudfish.
But Troy has not had a lot of
Rocky
luck.
shoals.
When it comes to walleye fishing, Troy, do you want to tell these two fine young men your experience with walleye fishing?
I've caught a walleye.
Eh?
Yes, just one. Just one.
And I need to correct that. I think this fall we're going to go over to Spirit Lake and we're going
Yeah.
to target walleyes all weekend.
Let's do that.
Yeah, and we're going to take a
I'll
picture.
watch you catch them all in the same spot that I'm at.
I know, and
just know.
I will hand it to you and say, here, we're
There you
taking
go.
your picture.
Take my picture.
Get this done with.
Yeah. I'm not very eventually it'll happen. It seems pretty normal for people from Minnesota and North Dakota. They catch a lot of them and they can't believe that I haven't caught them. And I feel like, but I've fished in a lot of different places. I love fishing in the Gulf, and I love fishing. I've been to Alaska and fished and things like that. So I like catching fish, and I've caught some great fish and shark and all that other fun stuff. But the thing that I should be like the best, easiest thing. And then they're like, you're in those places and they're like, how about that walleye fishing? And I'm like, yeah, it's terrible. Don't ever bring that up again. You know?
It's all about technique.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we'll digress from that. All right, Twon, we want to give you an opportunity to talk about your family.
Well, my family, they're a bit foreign. Everybody doesn't have Apple products, but shout out to the family in Boston. But my family in South Carolina, shout out to them. Shout out to South Kakalaki. That's what we call it.
Yeah, South Kakalaka. Kakalaki?
Yep.
Oh, I thought it was Kakalaka.
I mean, I'm from Boston, so I have that E at the end of everything, but it's South Kakalaka.
Okay, yeah.
Very technical.
Yeah.
It's South Kakalaka.
Yeah.
That's getting technical, huh?
Yeah, I love it.
But then again, I got my Texas boys. Shout out to my Texas boys. I respect football, and that's the heart of football, and that's who put me on football. Look, here we go. You know the Cali guys don't
Will
agree.
shaking his head.
No.
Both of y'all countries, basically. So of course y'all would. But other than that, shout out to my Texas boys. Shout out to y'all. But end of the day, I'm just happy to be here. I don't have too much to shout out to.
And where'd you say that your family was originally from?
Barbados.
So is that, and please correct me if I'm wrong, but is that considered Bajan?
Yes.
Yeah, so-
you the first person.
What?
Yeah, well, and here's the thing.
Ever heard?
No, that's
get
Bajan. Well, it's and the only reason I know that, Twon, let's be honest here, we had a football player at Waldorf, Antoine Cummins. Antoine and Delroy Nichols came out here. We got real close with them. They spent quite a bit of time at the house, and Delroy, his family was Jamaican. They ended up in New York City. He lived in Queens, and Antoine was, I think he was from the Bronx, but they went to the same academy and came out to Waldorf together. So the only reason that I know that when you're from Barbados, you're Bajan.
Yes. Not too many people get that. They be like, "What do you consider if you're from Barbados? Barbadian?" I'm like, no, we're just Bajan.
Bajan.
Yes,
I've never heard that.
Well, you learn something.
I learn a lot every day. Pay attention.
Yes.
Well, you're looking up the history of Barbados.
Well, I looked up I just want to see where it was on the map because I bet I'm not the only person that is
probably
listening to this podcast that's where's Barbados?
Yes, we're definitely next to the Caribbeans. West Indian and Caribbean are two different things.
Yeah.
All right.
That's pretty neat. It is. It's for those of you who are listening and don't have a map in front of you, it's south of the United States, but
Oh, there's a tough one.
but north of South America.
Oh, so is it like Chilean?
It's
that's
in
south
between there, and it's an island.
About halfway.
Yeah.
About halfway between Chile and.
Yes, sir.
So your family is from how far?
Like literally, like from my mom to everybody else down there, 100% from Barbados.
They grew up in Barbados.
Grew up Barbados.
You-
sticks and rocks.
You grew up here in the United States,
Yep.
but they're from 100%. I mean, that's pretty. You're first generation
Yep.
Bajan.
Yes.
Hey, you picked it up. Good
I
job.
love it. Well, I learned something today.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So one of the things that I want you guys to talk about, so I'm talking about family. You guys had mentioned something about getting toughened up by some brothers. Is that right?
Me, yep. My oldest brother, he actually plays, like, he's actually an athlete. Like, he played football. That was his love. He's mostly a quarterback, but he's a big dude. And he played basketball too with, I don't know if y'all know him. He played for UConn. His name's Shabazz Napier. But played with him, and like all of a sudden, my brother just introduced me to football. Like, he just throw the ball at me and I'll catch it all the time. That's what really made me a receiver. Like,
Right.
Just that in general. But my second oldest brother, he played basketball. He was more of a basketball player. But me, I'm a triathlete, what they call it.
Yeah, you right. Yeah, right. Try.
There it is.
But yeah, but I'm not gonna lie. Where my defensive stand came from was playing against Ja Morant every year. Y'all know who Ja Morant is?
No. Is that your brother? That's not your brother.
No.
Did I
But he
spell it
played
wrong?
with him. He played with him. No, that's the right name. That's the guy right there. Yep. But playing against Ja Morant every year, y'all got look who Ja Morant is. That's probably one of the best point guards in the league right now. Yep.
Yeah.
Memphis point guard.
Nice.
But yep, playing against him every year, that's probably what really improved my defense.
Now I gotta see
game.
it. I was like,
But yeah, Shabazz is from Boston though. Shabazz is definitely from Boston though.
All right, so was there a lot of scuffles back in the day?
Oh yeah, definitely. And then they was the rival schools. My brother was the king of the football field, and Shabazz was the king of the court. So it was like,
okay.
when that came in contact, it was lit. And then up north, it's like, I'm not gonna lie, I don't know how it is in like other places, but up north, we actually like have our games on the basketball court too as well. Like, we have that, yes, like a game like that's record down and everything. We have that on the basketball court.
Like a football game?
No.
Oh,
Basketball game.
okay.
Like,
Yeah.
it's on the basketball court, like at a park, and they'll count that like as a game that everybody come out and watch.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Okay.
It's kind of similar to Rucker Park. It's kind of similar
Okay.
to that. But yeah, other than that, it was intense though for sports for me.
I'll
It was
bet.
intense. It was. I watched my brother win the Super Bowl. That's what they call it up north. Like when you go to the championship, they call it the Super Bowl. So
For
Wow.
for what? Basketball or
football.
Okay. High school or
high school.
Okay.
They call it the Super Bowl.
In Massachusetts. And where do they play that?
They play it sometimes at Boston University.
Yeah.
Not Boston College, Boston, and they're the Boston University Bulldogs. But it's like, I guess they have a great field and all. But I don't know where the football team's at. But
Yeah.
in general, though, that's
great.
where they play. Not Boston College, Boston University, and they're not even known.
Yeah, I love Boston. I tell you, I will be out there later this year at the end of July.
Boston is
You're going to another Sox game, right?
We'll be at a Sox game. Yep, taking the family out there. My parents have been there, but my nieces and nephews haven't. And so I like taking the. Have you ever been to Boston?
Never.
I mean,
You'll love it. Fenway. I ain't gonna lie. Like Fenway Park, that's the icing on Boston. Like you take a tour through Fenway Park, you know the rest of Boston is nice.
yeah,
That's all it is.
that is true. And well, they make it easy for you. They've got the little red trail, so they got the Freedom Trail, and you just follow that around, and you go to all the places. Ben Franklin was born in Boston. They've got the John Hancock's place. They got the Boston Commons and the
Ground Railroad.
Yeah.
They got all
We love Boston. We love the people of Boston. We love the history of Boston. Like that's the revolution. The American Revolution started in Boston, Mass. And it's just in my family. You go back 400 years ago, they're there. So I'm pretty excited about Boston.
So, what's your favorite place in the San Diego area? House in La Jolla?
Oh no, sir. No.
I heard that San Diego's got the perfect temperature in America. That it's like
70
really
degrees
do.
all year.
yeah.
Yeah, and then you got the breeze coming off the ocean, and the
Oceanside for food. I'd say OB for the beach. Maybe Carlsbad. I'm saying Carlsbad. Carlsbad for sure. They got the best food, and like their beach culture is really nice.
I think your family and I would have been close friends because my folks' dad was stationed in San Diego, in the Navy, late 1950s.
Yeah.
But they never wanted to come back because of the weather.
Yeah.
I mean, that was
California's got great weather. It's amazing. Yeah.
But then it's going to slide off.
And then the other stuff. Yeah,
exactly.
they gotta deal with
Yeah, you're just one earthquake away from a complete natural disaster.
So did you spend a lot of time going down to Tijuana and anything like that?
Yeah, no. My passport has an astounding 0 stamps.
Oh, but you got it.
You have to ask for the stamp, though. Touchdown, Waldorf!
So we're getting close to finished up here on the this episode of the Waldorf Gridiron Podcast, but we want to flip it over to you guys for last thoughts. We're going to turn it over to our guy Will, and give us your final thoughts here. Waldorf football, everything.
Well, I definitely feel that it's a greater program than I've witnessed from anywhere else in greater community than I've been a part of or that I've seen other people be a part of. This podcast thing is definitely interesting.
That's the nicest thing anybody said.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Got one better for you. My fault. Fantastic.
Hey, take a drink.
Yep.
Take a drink.
But yeah, man, I love the town, dude. And Waldorf ball, like we said it earlier, and I mean, you guys reiterated on it. Like we're sleepers and we're coming,
Circle your calendars, kids. Because what's the goal, Troy? After the game, what do we want that other team to be doing?
We want them to call their mother and say they don't want to play football anymore.
Oh, okay.
Those guys were mean.
Yeah.
It's gonna be the fastest bus loading you guys have seen.
Exactly.
Maybe
I ain't showering.
Will's the man for it.
Should we have like as they walk off the field and my weirdo brother-in-law plays the hokey pokey, and then should we just have a line of guys with like phones and be like, would you like to make a call to your mother and quit?
Yeah, some Kleenexes too. Yeah,
Hey, that would be different. And that would be a trend to start.
The Gridiron Club could buy Kleenexes and we just stand there, where we do the warrior walk, and it'd be just like the walk of shame. Here you go.
The best thing about college ball is that and I love high school ball, but college ball is great because you don't have to.
You don't have to be cordial.
The sportsmanship thing is very different.
Yeah, you still love all those other teams. I mean,
Yeah, God,
you
they're just
want
somebody's
everybody to be
kids trying to
successful,
win.
just
Yeah.
not against us.
Yeah, just can't win against us. That's the rule. Like,
Exactly.
And that's why Valley City is on the list because their fan base, they're literally on the fence right on the field.
oh, good.
In between the whistles, though.
Literally.
In between the whistles, though.
So what's going on with Valley City? I mean, talk a little more about that, Twon.
That I feel like that was literally like the first loss of the season, and it was like we have to play them twice this year. So the first loss, it's like you got to come back with vengeance just because of the first loss, and then like for us to lose to them again, it's like it's a bunch of fire built up inside you. Like you got to come back. Like third time is gonna always be the charm. That's how I lived life. Like the first 2 times don't work. Third time is always a charm. And this third time coming up against Valley with me, it's gonna be different. It's gonna be way different.
A lot of focus, I think. I mean, that's going to be a lot of focus. And again, that's one of those that is circled. But hey, let's do Briarcliff first.
That's exactly what I was going to say.
Yeah, we'll get those guys to do whatever. And Simpson went what?
Simpson, they're
1-9 last year.
Yeah, they're a decent school. People just look at them because they're a D3.
Yeah, D3.
Yeah, D3.
Yeah, so they probably figure like, well, it's going to be a tough matchup. But like from politics outside of Waldorf, like NAIA, like they feel like there's a lot of NAIA schools that could compete with D2 and D3 schools. They're probably about the same matchup at this point in time, but I feel like Waldorf can match up literally with anybody.
I hate to say it, yeah. I mean,
anybody.
I'd love to say it, but D1 too. Like
anybody.
we got a team this year that can handle that.
Give me a break. Like you're not going to pay to play. You come to the NAIA because you're going to go and you're going to play and you're going to play to your, the highest level that you can bring yourself to, and you're also going to not pay for school. And so I just don't accept that D3 is a higher level than the NAIA. I think the NAIA and the Division II, I think they're on par with each other. And I think the problem with the NAIA is that there's such a wide berth of talent that you kind of look at like some schools and you're like, okay, well, that's not even, close to, what we're seeing in the Iowa Conference in D3. And the Iowa Conference is fantastic. But I just don't buy it. I think that the true NAIA, what you see at those upper levels and Waldorf's in it, it's not even in the same league.
And a lot of people agree with that because, like, lately, like, from the Senior Bowl to the Tropical Bowl and all those other bowl games, you have had NAI players in there with D3 and D2 players. So it shows a lot. It shows a lot, especially these past few years. Then the NAI, I think they had a lineman get drafted.
That they did.
The past couple years, the NAI had people in the draft. So it's like, hey, what's the competition now?
Who knows? Minnesota Vikings kind of got Moneyball, new manager up there. Could be a situation where he starts looking other places.
Yeah. How you feel about Kirk? Quick question. How you feel about Kirk, though?
Well,
that's a tough one for a Vikings fan. Let's hear that.
Hey, I'm not a Vikings fan, but I always have faith in Kirk, no matter what.
I feel like he does a good job. And I'm not one to turn tail on a quarterback. Now, there's a lot of Vikings like legit fans, and I've got the shirts and I've got the family and we've all got the Vikings gear and we go occasionally to games. So I'm not even the right guy to ask because I really focus on Waldorf football and high school, what I care about. I'm a little put off by the NFL a little bit. However, I think Kirk's a great guy. I think he does good work, and I don't see him doing a lot of bad things. But I think occasionally he gets in trouble, and I see that there's some problems on the team in the last couple of seasons. So don't blame that. I think he's probably, I don't know if he's a franchise player, but he could be for Minnesota, and that's where I'm at with him.
Good.
Yeah, I'd take him in New Orleans in a heartbeat.
Ooh.
I would say I got a lot of faith in Jameis, but he's accident prone.
Yeah.
I mean, dude can go down with an injury fast.
You didn't ask everybody who their teams are, though.
That's one of the things we almost always do that. I mean, so Pats and bolts.
Yes,
yeah.
You are.
No, it's
Oh, him. Who you?
I just watch my friends, man. Like I moved around.
Yeah. That's understandable.
Way too much to pick up a team, but I just kind of watch my boys and where like they end up. And
that's how I feel about basketball. But football, I'm a diehard Patriots man. I'm still crushed that season. We were supposed to go 19-0. Till this day, I'm still crushed.
Hey, what happened to y'all last season?
Don't worry about that.
Yeah, don't. 'Cause we had a rookie quarterback who only got. We won the game though. 3 completed passes. I ain't gonna let that go. I ain't letting that go.
That's right.
But,
The last, just kind of the closing thought, the final thought. What do you want to tell the fans?
oh, look out for Waldorf. We coming with vengeance. There's nobody. Well, not there's nobody. Everybody who's in our way will get stepped on. And that's definitely for sure.
I might have to play over and over for a while.
I don't mind co-signing that.
Yeah, nice, Will. All right, so again, I want to thank you guys so much for taking the time to come out here and visit with a couple of dunderheads like us about things that are important to us and obviously important to you gentlemen. With that, we're going to close it up on this episode of the Waldorf Gridiron Podcast with Twon Collymore and Will Stricklin. You can join the Waldorf Gridiron Club today by sending a check to the Waldorf Gridiron Club, P.O. Box 125, Forest City, Iowa, 50436.
Or message us by visiting and like our Facebook page, Waldorf Gridiron Club, or email us at waldorfgridironclub@gmail.com.
Or it's as easy as clicking on the Support the Show link on your phone. Become a patron of the Gridiron Club by choosing to support the program monthly. $100 is the black membership at $9 a month.
The $250 level is purple at $25 a month.
$500 is the warrior membership at $45 a month.
The all-conference level is $750 or $65 a month.
$1,000 is the all-American membership at $85 a month.
The champion level is $125 a month, and that's $1,500 a year.
$2,500 is the Hall of Fame membership.
The Waldorf Gridiron Club podcast is hosted by Andy Buffington and me, Troy Thompson. Produced by Sunnyside Farmstead Studios in beautiful rural Forest City, Iowa. The music is by Christian Leo. The Waldorf Gridiron Club is a non-profit 501c3 organization dedicated to football student-athletes of Waldorf University. Our mission is to assist the program in maintaining the best small college football experience in America.